Freestyle motocross had a massive impact on the motorcycle industry. It changed everyone's perceptions of what could and couldn't be done, and it created a lot of controversy because of it.
People were still frowning upon freestyle. Oh, they're a bunch of degenerates. They have bad attitudes, you know. And we were all, you know, like myself and Mike Jones and Brian Deegan and Metzger. We were all, you know, the rejects of Supercross. You know, none of us were really getting any love.
And it was sort of like the rebel movement of motocross, so to speak.
People were starting to kind of downplay freestyle motocross. You know, well, you've done everything you can. You take your hands off the bars, you grab your seat, you do Supermans. You know, what else is there to do?
People were just starting to click onto seat grabs. They're mounting door handles to their side panels to try and get their head around it. And then all of a sudden he pushed the envelope again with the heart attack, which is his namesake. And then a year later again at Gravity Games, he came out and landed the first ever backflip to dirt.
Going into Gravity Games that year, at the time I lived with TJ Lavin, who's a freestyle BMX dirt jumper. I remember we were out riding one day, and he's like, what do you think about doing flips? And I'd actually been thinking about it a lot. I was like, yeah, you know, I think it can be done. Me and TJ, we flew out to Camp Woodward. You know, those guys played a crucial part in me being able to learn the dynamics of getting comfortable in flipping bikes. You know, it's not about just doing a flip, it's about being able to get upside down, spot your landing, like being uncomfortable upside down. You know, we got to the point where I was able to go out, I could pretty much flip my bicycle off anything I needed to, and I could adjust it and feel comfortable with it, and that was a big stepping stone as far as taking those fundamentals onto my bike. And when the time finally came at Gravity Games to do the flip, you know, I kind of went out there with that goal set only. You know, I wasn't going out there to put in the best run, and, you know, I was definitely a little stressed out, a little nervous, and a little scared. And, you know, my dad built the course that year and went out there the day of the event and took shovels out, and I kind of shaped up the lip that I did it on, and it was pretty much a sheer vertical lip because that's what I thought it took to make it happen. And it had, you know, probably only had about a 10-foot deck on it, and then the downside slowly dropped away. And so I went out there that day and clicked in the second gear and hit a little hard, but luckily it was like a nice smooth rotation. And I remember being upside down and kind of spot my landing, and my landing was well beyond where it was supposed to be at. And I kind of, you know, I was able to slow the flip up a bit, and it just kind of floated down, and I just ran out of landing, and, you know, it was a good drop. It was probably a solid, you know, 35-foot drop, being that I overshot the landing, and that's what kind of made me blow off the bike, but I got to wheels.
Once all the footage was on the news and everything about the backflip, it was like, oh, these guys are going crazy, this is getting out of control.
And so then it was sort of a fairy tale thing. It was a dream that people had, you know, oh, it can't be done, surely.
They would have taken a lot of guts and a lot of balls to take it that far when it was so new and do the backflip that many years ago, and it still took, I think, like 2 or 3 years after he did the backflip for anyone else to master it.
And I had my uncle ring me up saying, did you see the news? Some guy just did the first backflip on a dirt bike, and, you know, it was Carey.
I try and relate to the freestyle motocross to the freestyle road bike scene. You know, the first guy to do circle wheelies, which is one of the hardest tricks for a road bike, you know, it's over in Eurobases Paris. I look up to him just as much as all the freestyle motocrossers look up to Carey Hart.
You know, all the magazines I used to buy and that, he was, you know, on the posters. And so one day he was at Peter Stevens' Dandenong, and me and my buddy got on the train, and I was just a little 12-year-old kid, you know, big fan of the sport, and big fan of Carey and all the other riders.
It's really cool to see, like, the success that Bilko's had. I mean, I've known Bilko, you know, I think I met him in an autograph line back on Krusty Tour, you know.
Carey's sort of come from the original and seeing the next generation, or almost the second generation of freestyle come through since then. You know, guys like Bilko and so on that are really pushing the envelope.
Just always went to the Krusty shows and watched that and just thought, this is just crazy, and never really set a goal to, like, oh, I want to be down there. I just kept doing what I was doing, and before I knew it, I got a call up to come try out on Krusty.
It's pretty amazing to see over the course of the last, you know, 15 years that I've been heavily involved with, you know, both Supercross and freestyle motocross, how it's kind of evolved and changed a bit, and it's become such a mainstream sport.
We got the answers in our sights now. Still somehow we struggle along, looking for solutions.